in the fourth round of their title fight, Hagler had taken on all the top contenders in his division. Hagler had taken on all the top contenders in his division. Hagler had taken on all the top contenders in his division. Now the question was raised, who was left to challenge the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler?
You moved to Brockton, Massachusetts when you were 15 years old, and soon after you were there for a while, you started working out under the guidance of the Petronelli brothers. As a young boxer, how did you go about developing your skills? What was your style?
Well, you know, actually, I think from just street fighting, I didn't really have a style at the time. By coming into the gym, I just had natural ability, and I never really knew what natural ability was. And my trainer just told me to go in the ring and just fight as if I was going to fight in the street. And then after that, he started teaching me how to develop, you know, where the punches would go. I didn't even know my right from my left. And then, so the right, I'd be the left hand, you know, until I had to start concentrating on my right hand, my left hand.
Marvelous, you started out as a left-hander. You were a southpaw, but you learned early to become a right-handed fighter. You changed your style. Why?
Well, you know what happened in the beginning, too. It was hard for me to get a fight, you know, me being a lefty, you know. So I started adapting. I fought a couple fights as right-handed. And then as I found that I had both abilities on both sides. I was ambidextrous, and I can do a little bit of everything. And I found that there was a lot of guys that had problems doing this, and I realized that then it was a gift from God that that I was very versatile to do this, and that I was able to confuse my opponents in this way.
The fact that it took you so long to get a title shot, do you think it made you hungrier, meaner?
It did. I think it made me meaner. And behind the fact that me still being in a poor area, helping my mother out with my younger brothers and sisters, you know, that tendency to put that hunger in your mouth. And also from the environment, from me coming up from New Jersey. I think that's what made me meaner, knowing that the only way to make it to the top is you got to knock everybody out.
Marvin, 1980, you win the world middleweight title. And as champion now, you have to defend your title. What was your general attitude as you now take on all challengers? What was your general attitude as you now take on all challengers? As you now take on all challengers?
You know, it's something that I think that what you feel is that now this guy is trying to take something away from you. You know, and you can't let it happen. And by you being a world champion, now you have more responsibility. You have to represent your own country, and you know this guy here is going to come out there and try to tear your head off now because he wants it.
But inside the ring, your appearance is menacing. You shaved your head. You have a tremendous physique, muscles bulging all over the place. Was intimidation part of your strategy?
No, not really. As far as my bald head look was, it's a good luck charm to me. Just the reporters was the one that was putting that menacing look on me. You know, the menacing, that didn't really scare the opponent because after the first round, the opponent, that's not even going to bother him.
Mm-hmm. What about the fact that I believe that you're really a little bald, and you shaved your head just to make yourself look better.
Well, you know, Reggie,
but you really don't have much hair.
No, Reggie, you know, I think you're a little jealous because you're getting there. You know, no, I have hair, you know, and I just like it this way because my wife think I look sexy in it, and I kind of like it because I don't have to be arguing for the brush or the comb in the morning. I just get up and wash my whole face. Well, I felt that I ran out of opponents, you know, and so I couldn't get the big fights with Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, or Thomas Hitman Hearns. Leonard wouldn't fight me. Hearns wouldn't fight me. Roberto Duran was the only one that finally came up to give me an opportunity. I just knocked out everybody else that was there, and I didn't really want to repeat myself again because it would look very bad. Larry Holmes has had bad times like that. And you don't want to be calling, fighting the bums of the month again. And, where was these guys coming from that they meant nothing and I wasn't able to make a real serious payday? The big paydays were going to come with the fights like the Roberto Durans and the Leonards and the Hearns. Going into that fight, I felt as though that I could knock Roberto Duran out. I still gave Roberto Duran a lot of credit behind the fact that he's the first one to have guts enough to come out of and fight me. And I think that was great that the fight went 15 rounds because what had happened was then it was able to sucker in more bait for me. I didn't like Tommy at all. You know, I didn't like his personality. Thought he was very cocky. And Tommy didn't like me. He told me he was going to knock my bald head off. And I like that kind of talk. I mean, it got my agility flowing to let's do it. You know, let's stop all this talking and let's just do it.
Stop the fight! It's all over! That fight for 3 rounds is one of the most devastating fights that people have ever seen or witnessed. You guys came out just throwing bombs from the opening bell. What was your point of view of that fight?
I felt the same way. I thought it was a very good, strenuous. We both worked very hard for 2 months, I believe. We both gave it all in all. And the fight turned out to be a war behind, if Tommy was to beat me, he would take my title away from me. And you cannot take my title away from me. You're going to have to knock me out to take my title from me.
Marvelous. This next segment, I want you to get ready for a pretty boy. We're going to talk about Sugar Ray Leonard. You want to get your hair ready?
Yeah, I should, you know.
Is it coming back?
Right,
you got it going back?
Everything's all set now.
1987, your old nemesis came out of retirement to challenge you for your title, Sugar Ray Leonard. Seems to me that you've always had a genuine dislike for Leonard. Why?
Naturally, well, I think he's Mr. TV personality, you know. He's an imitation of a Muhammad Ali. But, I've always wanted to fight him because he felt as though that he could beat me. You know, so what I wanted to do was to give him that opportunity. So let's find out. Let's see if you can. How can you win a championship fight? By running. You know, and I think that you'd have to beat the champion decisively, to knock him down or to knock him out. You just can't beat, he's the challenger and I'm the champion. How can you take a title away from a champion like that on a one-point system? It's not like that. But behind being Sugar Ray Leonard and behind the fact that I think they wanted, if this fight here was going to happen, they had it all made up that Marvin Hagler would come back. Again, the people would make bigger money the next fight. Unfortunately, I didn't like what the alternatives came out because I know I whooped him. He knew I whooped him. He told me himself, he says, hey, you beat me, babe. And one thing that I found out from that night, that no matter what you do, no matter what these people do, they cannot take out of here. You can take away my belt, you can take away the victory from me, but you cannot take what I have in here knowing that I whooped this man.
Marvelous, I think it will go down in history that you were not only one of the greatest middleweight champions in the world, but one of the most charismatic fighters that ever came on the boxing scene. You were a guy that the American people loved to watch. I mean, you really looked like what everyone thinks a fighter should be, and I think that that's one thing that all of sports do miss when a guy like you does retire. I want to thank you for coming down to the Dana Point Resort and sharing the insights of your career on Greatest Sports Legends. Thanks.
Thank you very much, man.
Appreciate it.
Nice to be here.